Hello, 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 and welcome to Dear Dana. I know it's been a hot minute, but better late than never. And I know it's an unusual day, but these days I'm trying to fit everything in my unusual schedule. But it's nice to see everybody. And it's a hot day in hot Atlanta for sure. I was looking up the other day what temperatures were like when I was growing up in the city I was born in, and because I don't remember it ever being this hot. And the thing of it is, it did not get barely past 90 degrees in the city I was growing up in. So no wonder that the temperatures are hard for me to take, to be honest with you. But be it as may, I'm going to stay in the cool air condition as much as I possibly can, unless I am soaking in the water. So how's everybody doing today? I hope you're staying cool, whether you're in the water or whether you're in air condition, because I don't see how people are taking these temperatures. I've been begging for rain. We got a little bit of rain the other night, but not nearly long enough. And hello out there in the bushes. I hope you're doing great. I decided that I don't know in my heart that it might be a good thing to talk about grief, life after life, because I am not beyond having grief in my life. I'm not free of having grief in my life. Yesterday was my son's birthday, and of course we have to celebrate his heavenly birthday now, because we lost him now, I think it's been 7 years ago. But we still have a birthday cake on his birthday. We still blow out the candles on his birthday. We still sing to him. We still talk to him. And people may not understand that, but we made a decision that even though he'd gone to the other side, we are still always a family of 4. We still include him in conversations in our life. We still talk about him. I mean, it's not every minute of every day, but so many times when a family loses a child, when they lose a family member within the core group, we have seen where families will just act like they're not there anymore. Maybe they put away the photos. And that is painful to see. That they have so much pain that they decide to subtract them from the family, as though they no longer exist anymore. And I know families have to handle it the best way that they can. But I feel like, being a psychotherapist and a certified clinical hypnotherapist, that in a lot of ways, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. In a lot of ways, it's healthier to still include them when you can, as you feel it's right to do, especially if there are siblings in the family, in the conversation when it's appropriate. Because to wipe them out of the history of the family just makes it Hey there, Nora, Stock Explorer. How are you, honey? How are you? Um, it makes it darn near impossible for people. It makes it almost taboo, I think. I'm going to drop the link if you want to come up, but there's no pressure whatsoever. It makes it impossible for people. It makes it feel taboo for people, as though it's wrong to talk about them anymore. As though it makes it difficult for the family to freely act like they existed. And something is mighty, I don't know, I find it weird in a way. It upsets people more, to me, in my opinion, when you don't talk about them. Now, you don't have to sit there and talk about the macabre stuff, but when you don't talk about the good memories about them, thank you, honey. I appreciate that. When you don't talk about the good memories about them, the sweet things about them being part of the family, when you're just erasing them, I don't get that. To me, it feels like it hurts the person worse. When you act like they were never there. I don't get that consciousness. You know? I mean, so many times that, I lost my dad, like 2 years prior to my son. So many times at the holidays, I want to set an honorary place for my dad. I want to do that. But, I always feel like my family members are going to get all weirded out Freaky Friday. Because I want to do something like that. Or, tell stories about dad. And it's like everybody gets so zip-lipped. Why? Are, other, how do I say this? Other populations, I find, have such better ways to do it in a way. I don't want to say all Americans. I don't believe it's all Americans. But let me just say America in general. Let me just say in general. Have such a weird way. I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying everybody. Have a weird way, for the most part, of dealing with death. Now, a lot of people have heard me talk about this, but when I was 12, I had a near-death experience. So many times I never understood it growing up. Now that I have lost my dad, and especially my son, if I had not had that happen, now looking back, I understand it more, but if I had not had that happen, I don't know that I would have made it through as well as I have, losing my son. Now, don't get it twisted. When I first lost my son, I didn't feel like I could. I had to remind myself to breathe. I had to remind myself to breathe. Literally. And for a little bit, now I had no plans to take myself away. For a little bit, I didn't want to be here. But I have a daughter. And I knew I could not be a checked out absentee parent. And I knew I had to get myself together in a lot of ways. I had to get myself together in a lot of ways. Because it was not fair to her. It was not fair to her. For her mom just to disconnect from the world, or no longer be involved in life or be physically present but not be present for her because she was only 15 at the time. I still had to finish high school and do all the things. So I couldn't just be like in La La Land and no longer be present for her. Now, I'm not saying that like I'm some saint or a martyr or anything like that, but I had to think about her. You know what I mean? So, having the near-death experience at 12, where I literally saw the other side for a brief period of time, and trust and believe, the brief amount of time that I got to see, this place pales in comparison. There's colors there that don't even exist here. Everything is effervescent from the inside out there. Very effervescent. We all have this vibration from within there. We don't have these physical skin suits. You know what I mean? But everything has a vibration. And when every form of life is there, and yes, I do say life, with that vibration, every time that life energy changes, that vibration changes, that sound, that essence changes. And it sounds like music. I saw water moving through it like a stream. And a literal building. It looked like a building in the distance with columns and carvings. So if a life happened to get caught up in someone else's contract, so to speak, on accident, that soul would not be, if it ended up in heaven under someone else's path, that soul would not have to feel shock or confusion and would go into that building to transition easier. Because it can happen because we have free will on Earth. So there's nothing to say. Using our free will doesn't put us in error at times, if that makes sense. Because during my small period of near death, my 12-year-old self didn't understand a building on the other side. Thank you, Marie Crum. I sure do appreciate it. Thank you, Vintage Optimism. I sure do appreciate it. And yes, I cried yesterday. I'm not going to lie, I cried. I went off to myself and cried. Miss you too, Vintage Optimism. I miss you when I don't see you. For sure. I dropped the link up if anybody wants to come up. And hello, everybody out in the bushes. Sometimes his birthdays hit me worse than others. I don't know why. There's a song that I used to play a lot when Noah was here. And it was a song, I don't know why I connected with that song with him. And I had not heard it in years. And I was in Home Depot with my mom the other day. You know how they play the music and you don't really pay attention to it? You're shopping. You don't pay attention to it. And all of a sudden that song came through the speakers. And something in me said, listen, Dana, listen. And I heard that song out of the blue, and it just stopped me in my tracks. I don't listen to that music coming over the speakers when I'm shopping. I tune it out. You know how you kind of tune it out. And I was in utter shock. And I knew it was like a sign from him, because I literally had not heard it in years. And it's not like one of those songs that you hear on the radio all the time. And it's not like from a popular artist either. I don't even know if I know the artist's name. It's legit not from a popular artist. So I knew it was a sign from him because his birthday was coming up. But talking about that near death, and God's essence, and I guess I'm going to say God, was this brilliant, blinding white light that I was being like held in like a cloud, like a huge, I say cloud, not really a cloud, but it felt like a nest cloud, whatever, with that overwhelming, it was like a security and love that I had never, ever, ever felt on earth that way. Not that I had not felt love from parents, from lovers, from whatever, but it was such a peaceful, loving, secure, unquestionable, it's just like a place I never wanted to leave. Unconditional positive regard. Safe. I can feel it now. It's just so hard to. I felt cocooned completely in it. And I was made to understand that in the end, God can be and show him, her, she, he, it themselves as a man, a woman, an animal, Buddha, any form that God needs to take to the person. God is everything. In the end, we all show up at the same place, if that makes sense. And that wars are of our own ego. They're pointless. They are of our own ego. God, I say God, because God is everything. And we're all a part of God. We can call God whatever in the end. We all evolve to the same. God is all. God is all. And all these wars about religion are purely of ego that we created. And I was told that I am supposed to lead with love and kindness. I'm supposed to lead with love and kindness. And my 12-year-old self was like, but I'm not a leader. And then that booming, whispering voice, which is an oxymoron, I know. Again, I was told I was supposed to lead with love and kindness and healing. And I just accepted it and was sent back. My body went woof, hard, and those girls were slamming me and slapping me and shaking me because in the end it happened because these much older girls had invited me to a sleep-in that my mom let me go to because we just moved, and she knew two of the girls' aunts. They were playing the pass-out game, and the biggest, oldest girl held me by the diaphragm in the air too long till I turned blue, way, way too long, and I went into cardiac arrest. And I'm lucky I didn't have brain damage. Well, that's questionable too. I do have MS, but I'm joking. But my oxygen was cut off way too long. I went into cardiac arrest. When I left my body, I started seeing the girls, the homes, where my mom was, where my dad was, where my brothers were separately, and then started going into the light. I'm just giving you all the thumbnail version of everything. And I was 12. And I was checked out. My mom didn't want me talking to anyone about it. This is before we had easy access to computers. I read the book Life After Life by Raymond Moody. Years later, we moved back to Atlanta, where I was born. I changed universities, changed my major. I ended up in a psychology class. Well, many psychology classes, but this particular one, psychology in the brain. And it said the professor, under professor, it said staff, where they don't tell you who it's going to be yet. And I end up in a class. And lo and behold, the professor is Dr. Raymond Moody, who's a psychiatrist, among other things. And he does specialize in near-death experiences, life after life. Years later, I was also tested for a variety of things, and also psychic abilities, among other things, with also Dr. William Roll. But be that as it may, I want for everybody to understand, hey, Henry Nelson, that think about when we say, my foot hurts, my head hurts, this is my face, this is my hair, I'm going to cut my hair, I'm going to get, which I've never had, not yet, maybe I'll get it one day, I'm going to get Botox in my face. Maybe someone wants to get a tattoo on their back. Maybe someone that's diabetic has to get their toes cut off, right? We speak about all these things like you own them. My hand, my hair, my face, right? But when you speak about other things, you go, I am thinking about, I am feeling, right? You don't say those things as though you own them. You say it as, I am. Think about why you do this. You own this, my hand, my arm, but I am thinking, I am feeling. I want you to ponder this. You cannot, and I've said this before, but you cannot create or destroy energy. Your soul is energy. You cannot create or destroy energy. Your body, on the other hand, much like a vehicle or a machine, a stove, a microwave, a washer, dryer, your physical body, something you're using, you own, so to speak. If something is broken in it, you go to the hospital to attempt to make it better or repair it. Just like you take your vehicle to a shop to repair or make it better. Okay? You have to take care of these things. When you no longer can repair or make something better, like a vehicle, like your body, they get worn out. You physically get out of your vehicle. And you either get it fixed or you go buy a new vehicle. Right? Same with your body. If you cannot repair or fix it, your soul, just like your physical body that gets out of a car, your soul steps out of your body. And remember, soul is energy. It cannot be created or destroyed. Your soul steps out of your body. Okay? Hey, in the bushes, I hope everyone's following me. So, I know with my son and my grandmother and a friend of mine, I could literally feel the energy of their souls once it was out of their body. Now, the people left on earth, when you lose someone, does it make the grief that you're experiencing because they're not in their physical body and you cannot look at them, touch them, hug them any better at that moment? No, the grief is horrific, gutting often, to those that are left behind on earth in a physical body. Thanks, Marie. It's horrific to those left behind because we want to sit with them, smell them, look at them, hug them, touch them. All of that is worse on the people left behind because the energetic form is not in the form we're used to. But that being said, I have to ask, have they really died? I have to say no. I have to say no. Because over the years, more and more, especially in the first few years, no one was capable energetically, especially as he was able to navigate it, to make his toys go off, make the light with a dimmer switch go higher and lower. I said, no, if this is you, make it go higher for yes, brighter for yes, lower for no. For 20 minutes, my husband and I would ask questions. Go higher, brighter for yes, lower for no. His toys on special occasions, birthdays, would go off and say things they were not created to say, whether the batteries were working or not. If you ask and your grief is not devastatingly off the charts, you can get signs from your loved ones. Sometimes you can get the signs you want. Sometimes you have to be patient. Because on the other side, there's often jobs that we have. Are they jobs like over here? No. Jobs that we have passion for. Whether we want to help souls over here. Whether we want to be earthbound angels in the form of humans. whether that's temporary or permanent. It can be temporary. We can be earthbound angels that are temporarily prodding along or navigating another soul, so to speak, as long as it's for the greater good to help serve. There can be souls over there that are sending information through dreams to others because that's the easiest way to connect with people on this side is when they're in a dream state. Why is that? Because in a dream state is sort of like a theta state in hypnosis. Your mind's more receptive. Marie says, so true, Dana. My father will be gone 56 years on Thursday, and it still hurts after all those years. And my mother's birthday is Sunday, and she will be gone 8 years at the end of the month. I miss them both. I'm so sorry, Marie. I can understand that you do. I'm so sorry. But when you speak to them on the other side, they hear you. Do they hold anger? No. Have they become wiser on the other side? Yes. Yes, they have become wiser on the other side because they see the bigger picture of things. They see the grander picture of things. They've had to level up and resonate higher. Does that make sense? We are the ones having to learn and navigate the grief. Grief is like this. The first year is very rough. The second year still hurts. Still hurts. But if a person is still in deep, deep grief after the second year, then help definitely needs to be gotten. Because then you're in a chronic state of grief and not moving forward whatsoever. You've become attached and identified with the grief. After losing, you know what, I was in some grief groups, and one lady would constantly throw up pictures of her dead son and pictures of her holding on to his headstone day after day after day after day after day. And I could not. I just could not. I could not. If you know what I mean. So, there's some people that cannot move beyond reliving that day and that grief and get attached to the grief and the death day and the negative attention it brings. So they need additional help and need to seek it. Otherwise, they get caught up in a Groundhog Day. And I could not be in a group where people were doing that because as much pain as I was in, I didn't want to be there and remembering my child constantly on the worst day of our lives. I wanted to be able to move forward and remember my child's beauty and the joy of him. And I would get nudges from him spiritually, reminding me of that. You get what I'm saying? And also, after him passing, a door would open, and he also sort of brought other children through. And I started seeing them in 3D color, like walking through my house. It was like other things opened up. Almost like he was trying to share more things with me. I had never seen them like that. Hey, been a minute. How you been? Hope okay. Hey, Mr. Jim in Virginia. Oh, thank you so very kindly. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was talking about yesterday was my son's birthday in heaven. We're talking about life after life, and we don't really die. We just leave the bodies that are no longer working out for us behind. And I think sometimes we might choose to have do-overs. We might actually choose to have do-overs. And sometimes we might say, nah, I think I've had enough. I think I've had enough. I think I'm going to stay on this beautiful side of things. And, help from this side or hang out on this side. Because it's kind of beautiful. And you can use and thoughts are things, most definitely. Thoughts are things here, for sure. But telepathically, thoughts are definitely things on the other side. We don't need homes, but if you wanted one, you could think about it and create it like that. And it would feel entirely real to you. All of it. And we don't need to eat. But if you wanted to, you could. There's no need to eat, but you could. Things could be just like here, but better. And you can try to help guide people on earth that you love. But again, everyone on earth has free will. And you can't lead a horse to water and make them drink. So we still stay connected with those we love that we've lost, and they to us. And when we've lost someone and they go to the other side, their energy is expansive. They can stay connected to so many people and things because their energy is vast and expansive. And really, if you want to tell the truth, our energy can be that vast and expansive if we resonate higher. But if we worry too much, we bring that down. When you worry too much, you do that. And it's normal to stress and worry to a certain degree. It's normal. We're all human. We're going to do that. But if we can check ourselves, and say, okay, there's the limit. I'm not going to do any more worrying and stressing today. I need to breathe. Or go sit in a tub and relax. Or for those that have a glass of wine, have a glass of wine. You need to be able to check yourself when you're doing too much of the worrying. and stressing and be able to get out of that mode. Read a good book, relax. If it's not too hot, sit on the porch. If you've got a rocking chair, rock it out. Listen to some good music. Watch something funny. Try to stay away from chaos. Try not to watch the news. OMG. OMG. Remember, even 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I said, I'm not being shady. I feel bad. I'm not picking a side. But Biden has dementia problems. I feel bad for him. I don't know who's running our country, but somebody needs to get him some help. I mean, I've been saying it for years, and they're just now saying, oh, we can't believe it. What's happening? Please, 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 please. Over and beyond everything, I feel terrible for him. Yes, I feel terrible for the country, but I've been saying it for years. Why did they do this to that poor man? It's terrible for our country, but, you know, they have been needing to get him some help. I think it's a shame. I digress. Just saying. I've been saying it for a long time. Hey, Willow, precious. Thank you so much, Willow. But back to the having that near-death experience, it opening up unusual gifts for me, not wanting them for most of my life, discovering why I got them especially after I got Noah, and even more so losing him, finding some comfort in knowing that I've seen it and know exactly where he is, because I have never questioned that experience. I mean, I think I had to see where every family member was, so it would ensure me that I wasn't hallucinating, because I could confirm where they were. Gave me some solace and helped me to make it through. You know, it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. I will tell you that I got a special certification when I went back to college to delve deeper in modalities to help with hypnotherapy, to help people heal faster. And I mean, in all forms of healing. People get too confused when they think about stage hypnosis, and they get scared about hypnotherapy. But I got a special certification about grief and hypnotherapy. But before I left, one of the professors did a guided imagery hypnotherapy for a bunch of us, and I was really tired that day. So I decided just to let go, to really let myself go. When I say let go, I mean I just opened up and just let myself go deeply with her. And she's very good. And this isn't supposed to happen. Not supposed to happen. But I got so very relaxed. What does that say? I love Dana's. What? I can't read that. I love Dana's. What does that say? Chocolate? I love Dana's. What does that mean? Chat. Oh, pfft. I didn't know what I was reading. Anyway, back to that. I got so deeply relaxed when she was doing that guided imagery hypnotherapy. And it was the guided imagery hypnotherapy that I went so deep that I saw Noah looking like a grown man. And my dad was with him. And Noah started talking to me, and I was like in shock. And I could not say anything back to him. I couldn't say anything back to him. He was handsome, and he was tall, and had the blueberry blue eyes, and he was lecturing me, sort of. He was lecturing me about taking care of myself. And listening to my own words about what I say to other people. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I couldn't get over it. And I was just sort of amazed when I came out. Anyway, it was highly unusual. But I'll never forget it. Because Noah always looked like a 7-year-old to me. And I had always wondered what he looked like grown. Yeah, it is gift free. You know how you always wonder what they'd look like? I'd always want to send a picture and have them do an age progression on him so I could get an idea of what he'd look like. I'm wondering if anybody has any questions. But the point I wanted to make is, and science is backing it more and more and more, that we don't really die. We change form, but we're not really dying. I mean, I wish that that we could test it and come back real quick. But I don't think I'm ready to have another near-death experience anytime soon. I've had a shared-death experience with someone going over to the other side, but that's a whole nother story for another time. As far as the near-death experience, I'm not ready for another one of those for a very long time. No, thank you. Any questions, anybody? Got to run. You all have a good one. Stay beautiful, Dana, like always. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman in Virginia. I greatly appreciate you. I appreciate everybody coming because, after being off the net, being off YouTube so much, going back to school, it's being It's becoming a slow crawl back. A slow crawl back. And thank you, everybody in the bushes. Yeah, and while I'm here, please like, subscribe, share. My watch hours dropped off the Richter scale. YouTube kept deleting them and deleting them and deleting them and deleting them while I was off YouTube. I'm still monetized, but I cannot get, hey, finding the balance. Nice to see you. Oh, do I know it? Do I know it? I'm still monetized, but I cannot get, what are those super chats and that kind of thing right now? Life does take some time away from YouTube. Yes, it does. And I was so, especially the last few months, I did like 130 pro bono clients for the college. And you times that times 3 hours a piece, plus the classes. OMG. OMG. I was like way up to here, way too busy that I could not keep up. And then I was getting my own clients and taking the classes and the extra other classes that you have to take. We had live classes and other classes. Anyway, it was way too much for me to try to balance everything. I was over my head. Over my head. Yes, I was. For your information, it's James P. Changed my channel name when I came back. Oh, okay. Nice to see you, James P. How's it going? How's it going? I went back to college as certified clinical hypnotherapist, and I've opened my practice, and now I'm getting referrals, and even the college is sending me client referrals, which is like, what? So I'm building my practice up now. My goal is to get 10 to 15 consistent clients a week, not the scattered ones. You know what I mean? Well, I've been doing a lot of shadow work and pendulum work too. I've been busy away from YouTube. It sounds like you have been, Willow. Sounds like you've been really busy. Are you still working too, Willow? Good. Been taking care of my daughter. How's she doing? Oh, several hospital stays and no help for months. So mainly life was about her. I can understand that, James. And Noah's birthday was yesterday. Miss him so terribly. I understand what you're going through. I hope you find some help. There should be something where you get some help. Always doing shadow work. Yep. Yes, I am, dear Dana. I am working at my job for 8 months. Woohoo! Good job, Willow. Is it getting better with the people around you, Willow? Is it getting better with people around you? Good. I'm happy to hear that. Good, good, good. That has to make life so much easier. Finally got nurses back on board so can get back to working. Good, James. That's to make it better. And plus, even when you get nurses sometimes, they have to feel good. I must have hit it with my ankle. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I have to show y'all something. If I can get it to come up. Up. Wait. Someone did this picture of Noah yesterday. Can y'all see this? Did y'all see that? Yeah, I thought it was sweet. In one of the groups I was in, they did that picture of Noah. His birth father, my husband I'm married to now, was not his biological father. His birth father had a very blonde hair. Very blonde hair. And with my hair dark, that's how Noah's hair came out. So I figured if he were to have been typical and grown up, I wondered, how his hair color would have turned out. You know what I mean? His hair was kind of curly in the back. Sweet boy. He had like blueberry blue eyes. He looked like me a little bit, I think, maybe. Oh, thanks, Willow. We both had wide set eyes. Our lips look a little bit alike. We got the alien eyes. They're wide set. Thank you, Michelle. Mine are more open than his were, but yeah. It's the weirdest thing. I still feel him. Maybe it's not so weird, but I still feel him. All the time, I still feel him. And sometimes I still hear my dad say things to me, especially when I need it. But I guess today this is in honor of my son, Noah Chandler Stinson Cumby. My husband adopted him after we got married. But I just want to assure you from what I feel, what I experienced, what I know to be, what I have felt really, really. They never really leave us. It's about how open we are to listening. Um, and what I've seen of the other side, I've experienced angels, and they legitimately are very tall. They're very tall. And their wings are not made of feathers, as much as I'd like for them to be. They look like feathers, but they're made of light. They are made of light. Like, they're made of light. They're made of light. And remember, because we have free will, you do have angels around you, but you must ask for their assistance. They're hanging around all the time. You must just merely ask for their assistance. And it may not happen immediately at that second, but ask for their assistance and then immediately thank them. And then after it occurs, and you'll feel it, you'll know it, you'll know that you know that you know, then thank them again. Thank them again. You'll feel it all in your body, especially your gut. Especially your gut. You know? Especially your gut instinct. It's a beautiful thing. We've got all of this beautiful energy around us of the Creator, of the angels, and more, right? From my experience, we don't really die. Am I ready to go right now? Nope. Nope and nope and nope. Yeah, Marie. And I truly know and believe that, Marie. Yeah. She says they help her. She experienced angels. They help her stay on her feet so she doesn't hurt herself. It's important to work on resonating higher. You open yourself up to so much. So much. Help, the right people, opportunities in your life, so much light, right? It doesn't mean you're not ever going to feel bad. It doesn't mean you're not ever going to feel the touch of grief. It doesn't mean that you're never going to have the human experiences. It simply means that you're going to be that much more connected to the heavenly realms and the people that we love on the other side. Right? The veil is not that thick. We're not that far away from each other. Thank you, Michelle. You're such a spiritual, loving light worker. Beautiful souls, all that come in here. I'm very honored to know all of you, really. And thank you for coming here. And thank those of the bushes as well. I dearly love and care about all of you. Genuinely, I love and care about all of you. And I truly hope that you can feel that from me and that you know that. Truly, I hope you know that after all of this time. And I appreciate you coming today. And I remind you again, please like, share, subscribe, at least like. And those in the replay gang, if you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to drop them below. I hope everyone has a beautiful rest of your week. And I guess I'm going to wrap it up now. My husband will probably be home soon. But I'm going to try to make this more frequent. I don't know what day, you know, I'm just going to experiment more, right? My husband's got an unusual schedule now, and my daughter's popping in and out, and I have clients on unusual schedules as well, and I'm still teaching. So I'm just going to kind of pop in and out and experiment that way and hope it works out okay for everybody. Better that than not, you know? I love you all so, so very much. And remember, your vibe attracts your tribe. And we don't really die. We just change energetic fields. I will talk to everybody later. Mwah! Have a good rest of your week. And I thank you so, so very much from the bottom of my heart. Bye, everybody.